This BBC star needs to be named. The BBC need to name him. An MP using parliamentary privilege needs to name him, or he needs to name himself. There is a stark contrast between the BBC's desire to protect the privacy of one of its own stars and the way in which they treated Cliff Richard. They used helicopter shots of his home being raided. His name was dragged through the mud, his reputation completely tarnished. The BBC tried to claim all of that was in the public interest, but of course the reported £2 million they paid Cliff would indicate that maybe it wasn't. We now have this farcical situation where everybody seems to know who this BBC presenter is and what he's been accused of. But also, crucially, other stars, and this is, I think, the important point, really, are being needlessly dragged into this. And I'm not normally Jeremy Vine's biggest fan, but nobody deserves to have allegations of this nature falsely levelled against them. Ryland Clark, bless him, Nicky Campbell. I've even found it within myself to have some sympathy for Gary Lineker. Brian Moore, for goodness sake. I think that was probably the weirdest one for me. All of these people are completely innocent, and they have had their names, to an extent, dragged through the mud online. Twitter is now a cesspit of defamation. Everybody's talking about this. Every pub is humming with rumour and speculation. Every workplace, every family home. It is, frankly, not fair on everybody else that this individual is not identified. It has got too big. The allegations are too serious. And it is, in my view, unquestionably in the public interest. If this BBC star is paid with public money to provide a public service broadcast, then surely the public has a right to know who he is. But the public also has a right to know whether the BBC knew about these allegations, what they knew, when they knew it, and why they let this person continue in their job for so long. The BBC has just launched BBC Verifying, Verified Live, I believe, and in fact, I think one of those shows is on air at the same time as mine. It has positioned itself as moral, factual, objective and a truth giver, and yet currently and arguably for decades, given previous scandals involving the likes of Jimmy Savile, Rolf Harris and others, behind the scenes, they don't feel very happy to let their own truth come out.